is everybody yelling?
Too much.
Okay, everybody's yelling.
Why don't you guys
my
calm
God.
down?
Okay.
Can somebody not just come in the room and say like, "Hello, how are you today?
People
How's
just
your day going?"
scream until they
Just
vibrate.
yelling.
This week, we give you the verdict on the latest entry in the Conjuring franchise, which trades in a creepy doll for a creepy ghost who really wants your kids, the Curse of La Llorona. But is it worth getting off your couch for? We'll stack it up next to this week's biggest Blu-ray releases and let you know what to watch.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What to Watch. I'm Jackie Jing.
I'm Clint Gage, and over there, editorial guru extraordinaire, David Griffin, Esquire. We're adding to it.
It's a great time to be alive. Game of Thrones is back on the air. A lot of good things happening. We got Avengers Endgame on the way. We got Star Wars trailers coming out. It's a good time to be alive.
There's a lot of stuff going
Lot of
on.
stuff.
Also, want to give a shout out to our evil henchman running the show, tech director Nick Lamone and producer Tom Jorgensen. Yay!
Hey guys, did you wave?
Yeah, that Tom kind of did. Okay. Hi. Anyways, that was a good intro for them. There was not much enthusiasm from them. Anyways, okay. It's a pretty light week on new stuff for you to check out, so we're gonna switch things up a bit and focus on some home releases.
That's right, but before we do that, let's give the floor to the one movie that is brave enough to open up a week before Avengers Endgame and sacrifice its chances at second weekend box office success to the gods of movies. Talking about this week's one major new release, Warner Brothers' latest entry into the Conjuring series, The Curse of La Llorona, which IGN gave a 6.8. Here's the verdict. The Curse of La Llorona offers some decently suspenseful set pieces and has a family you care about at its center, but it's also a very familiar and formulaic Annabelle-adjacent entry in the Conjuring franchise. It's certainly not the weakest movie in the series, but it also doesn't necessarily bring as much new to the table as might have been expected given the compelling folklore the film borrows from.
Well, I'm actually surprised we gave it a 6.8 because it's at a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. So we must have seen something in it that a lot of the other reviewers haven't.
Yeah, well, it looks pretty cool. It looks like it doesn't just rely on the jump scares. It looks like there's some sort of eeriness that it gets mixed in there. So there's some extra sort of filmmaking oomph behind it, and it's not just leaning on let's have a scary old lady jump out of this curtain. Because there's the scene that's in the trailer with the kids in the car and in the dark, and it feels very isolated and it Lovecraftian in a way of just there's nothing around you, but there's something coming at you, and nobody's coming to help, and so I think it gets extra bonus points for being a little sort of extra spooky without the jump scares.
I think it's brave enough to come out before Avengers Endgame because it's one of those movies that look, you have the weekend, you don't know what you're gonna do. It's let's go to a movie. Those Conjuring movies are good enough. I think they've figured out a way how to make a not bad horror movie. So I think it's worth checking out on its own right there. So I think we're seeing our review there from Jim Vavida is echoing that. Look, it doesn't break any new boundaries, but it's entertaining and it's serviceable. Pop a popcorn and just kind of enjoy it.
Well, let us know if you're going to see The Curse of La Llorona this weekend. Tweet us at, the hashtag, IGNW2W. But the question now, is this movie enough to get you off the couch with all the interesting titles coming out on Blu-ray this week? It is time for a Blu-ray Battle Royale. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, Tom.
Wow!
Look, everybody, we have a shiny new segment. While it may not be a busy week at movie theaters, we do have 3 movies worth talking about out on Blu-ray this week. So which one's the best? Let's get to it, everybody. Starting with Dragon Ball Super Broly. This movie brings the legendary Super Saiyan back into canon in spectacular fashion. We gave it an 8.8. Dragon Ball Super Broly delivers in terms of awesome action, but more than that, it uses the fathers of Goku, Vegeta, and Broly to link back to the late 1980s and early 1990s heyday of the series to add a relatable and thoughtful subtext. It's a humorous movie that bounds into the world of imagination and is gripping to the end.
I don't care about anime. I can't for the life of me get into it. Here's the thing, I try every time it comes up.
You've not seen one anime.
I try.
What about Miyazaki?
I have seen
Miyazaki.
He likes One Punch Man.
I can't do
You
it.
said you like One Punch
I did like
Man?
One Punch Man. Yeah.
Okay.
I just let me say this brand of anime that's just like nonstop like dudes fighting each other. How do you bizarre ripped dudes just going at each
what's
other?
all the buff
Like,
dude? There are a lot of buff dudes in
I
this,
can't.
buff guys,
I can't for the life of me get into it. I just can't. It's not for me.
Okay,
I
David,
never
your
liked
turn.
it as a
I'm
kid.
gonna-
I never figured out how to
I'm
get
gonna
into
be
it as a
the
I mean,
That's
there's a
weird.
lot going on in that movie. I mean, some of the action looks interesting. I like a little more subtle anime. Not really, no, because I like One Punch Man. That's a lot of action in One Punch Man. But Broly seems like on another level. That seems like something like intense. I don't know if I can handle it. It seems like too much for me.
Dude, you would love it.
Even
You
Attack
would-
on Titan is like a little much. Why is everybody
Oh,
yelling?
too much.
Okay.
Everybody's yelling.
Once you
all
get
the
my
time.
calmed down.
Okay.
Can somebody not just come in the
I
room and
can't.
say like, "Hello, how are you today?
People
How's
just
your day going?"
scream until they
There's
vibrate.
yelling.
Yeah.
What's up with the yelling? Explain it
Okay.
to me, Jackie.
Okay.
Break it down for me.
Okay, so Broly is probably one of my favorite anime movies of all time. Easily the best Dragon Ball movie that's come out. It's hilarious, and Broly for so long, he's been in like I think 2 or 3 movies, and he wasn't canon, and all he did was he was like, and he was just like this big, insanely like buff dude. I really didn't want to say that. Okay, so
Can't avoid it.
Look,
he's a big
is what it
ripped
is.
dude, and he's like considered like the most powerful, arguably. You know what I mean? But he's never been canon. So then Akira Toriyama, the creator of this epic franchise, was like, okay, he's gonna be canon. We're creating him an awesome story, and they did. They gave him personality. They made you empathize with him, and like I just want to see so much more of him. Like they created a really cool story around him.
For me, though, you're describing a movie that's like in canon that I already don't know, and then there's another thing that wasn't canon that we're adding to the canon. So
Okay.
there's two things
So
that
throw that all out.
This
It is
makes-
like
this makes
the
the
most
MCU look
inaccessible
small.
description of a movie I've ever.
Throw it all out. Okay, so let's describe Broly in its most basic form, and it's the story of 3 Saiyans and how they all become the most epic warriors ever, and then they face to face. Like
I have a couple of thoughts. I am a lifelong Dragon Ball Z fan, and the thing that was exciting to me about this movie the most is seeing a lot of Akira Toriyama's monster designs. It's been such a long time since we've seen creatures. The dude draws some awesome looking monsters when we found Broly on this abandoned alien planet. I'm in. I like that sort of thing. But the problem that I find with this movie as a fan is that it is a movie, like all anime movies, that is catered to the fans. It is fan service at its finest, and I think that it has a hard time being a self-encapsulated film from beginning to end. That being said, I really like the animation in this, and I had a good time. But it's not for everyone.
So, okay, let's move on to Glass, the final film of M. Night Shyamalan's superhero trilogy, which started with Unbreakable and continued with Split. We were less excited about this guy. IGN gave it a 5.5. Despite a strong cast and an interesting concept, Shyamalan never quite manages to pull together the 2 worlds of Unbreakable and Split into one cohesive film. Never sure whether it's a heroic superhero story or a psychological thriller, Glass feels more than a little scattered, and with its uneven and disappointing third act, ultimately unsatisfying. Whew!
I would describe.
That's a little hard.
I would describe it as ultimately unsatisfying.
That's a
Like,
great-
This
yeah,
is the
yeah.
ultimate in unsatisfying.
Yeah.
The gold standard, you might say. Yeah.
But the idea that Unbreakable and Split needed to be in one world, and the way that it gets tied together is the review nailed it. I think it
Yeah.
just didn't add up.
We were talking about comeback stories, before the camera started rolling, and I think we always want a comeback story. And Shyamalan had a little rough string of movies, and last couple he's been getting better and better, and they've been more entertaining. And I wanted to see. I hope this one was going to be good.
Yeah.
And the fact that it wasn't was kind of sad. So I wanted to root for him. I liked
yeah.
Sixth Sense and all that. And,
But then,
Yeah.
and then The Visit was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then Split was a good movie. I really
Oh, I
enjoyed
love Split. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then for this to just like tack on some, the Unbreakable mythology to it, it just.
I was just so bummed. I was kind of like in the same boat as David. I was just like, okay, he's bringing these movies together. I have faith. This is going to be like the comeback. And honestly, the first and second act, they were a little bit slow, but I was still like into it. And I just thought visually was so stunning. And I was like, okay, like let's see where this ends up. And then like the third act was just too much was going on, what he decided to do with it. I was just like, why would you do that?
One weird twist after another.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
it
just
was
like I need maybe cut down the twist by
yeah,
half.
100% agree. It was like he wanted to be so like M. Night Shyamalan. He's like, here's a twist, here's a twist, here's a twist, here's a twist. And I was like, whoa, what's like happening? And it kind of stung.
You get a twist, you get a twist.
Yes.
I don't personally enjoy dunking on movies too much. I think all movies take a lot of effort to be made. That said, M. Night Shyamalan set out to make a superhero movie that was different than the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the DC Universe, and much to your point, Clint, is that the fight sequences aren't exciting. They aren't beautifully shot. They are just awkward and wide, but I do think there's purpose behind that. I think he wants to showcase that this is what reality looks like. But I think the problem with that is, sometimes reality, you don't go to movies to see reality. We want to see something that's larger than life. And I think that in not showcasing a marvel of cinema, he kind of failed to show anything.
It was pretty. It had great colors, and I think he was trying to like combine the two worlds. And I did like the whole like purple, yellow, green theme, but that was pretty much the extent of it. So yeah, and I'm trying to be nice because we kind of bash on things the whole time. But okay, let's get to our third film we'll be discussing out on Blu-ray this week. One that flew under the radar a little bit, The Kid Who Would Be King, directed by Attack the Block's Joe Cornish. Old school magic meets the modern day in this epic adventure. Alex is just a bullied kid until he discovers Excalibur, the legendary sword in the stone. Now his friends and his enemies must become knights and join the wizard Merlin to fight the wicked Morgana. With the future at stake, Alex must show courage he never dreamed he had.
Right here.
Look at
my kind of movie.
okay.
I didn't get a chance to see this in the theaters, but I am so down with Arthurian lore that I can't wait to check this out.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I watched
Okay,
it. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's it is one of the things that I was most pleasantly surprised about by it was how earnest of a movie it is. Like, and with Joe Cornish coming from thinking about Attack the Block, like I kept waiting for this sort of like wink and a nod kind of other shoe to drop with it, but it never had that. This kid, the Lil Circus, it's Andy Serkis's son. I can't remember what his
Little Circus.
Little Circus.
Little
Let's
Circus.
just call
He's
him
Little
Little
Circus.
Circus. Cool.
Circus
is
Junior.
like he never goes to a place like, oh man, this is crazy what's happening right now. He's always like, look, I'm gonna be king and we need to fix this right now. And you guys
right,
are in, right? And everybody's like, yeah, we're in. So it actually has a great vibe, a great message of, earnestly trying to make the world better, which I was really pleasantly surprised by.
I loved the first few minutes because
Okay.
it is animated, and I was like, "Whoa, this is great!" And I was like,
You're talking
super,
about the title sequence?
yes, the
Yeah.
title sequence. It was like super. It was really great animation. I was like digging it.
It was cool, yeah.
And then I liked the intro or like the beginning, and then it just started to like get really slow for me. And this was my problem with it. It reminded me so much of like movies like The Labyrinth and Willow. And,
It reminded you of good movies? Great.
but hard but like the CG kills me.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I wish this story was told in the late 80s or 90s and they had the cool creepy puppets and just like kind of that feel. It was just kind of like the CG just kept on killing me. Like
Well,
I was like
it
I would
does-
love to have seen it in a different time.
To the point about it slowing down a little bit, it does very much turn into a kids movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yes, it
it's
does.
at its heart, it's a kids movie.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't move with the same sort of urgency as even a PG-13 film would.
Agreed, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, it was fun. I think you're gonna have a good time with it, Dave.
I'm
it
excited.
was more fun than I anticipated. I thought I was gonna hate it, and then I was like, it was cool.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, it's time to make your choice. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Not Dragon Ball. I'm sorry. Well, you know what? No, I'm not sorry. It's just my taste. I like Coke instead of Pepsi too. There's nothing I can do about it. Kid Who Would Be King. It's fun and it's different than a lot of other films. Like I was saying, there's no hint of irony in it at all. Like it's a very earnest kids movie with a lot of heart, and that's honestly a rare thing these days.
Okay.
Yeah,
you guys think I'm gonna pick? No.
Yeah, well, I wonder. I mean, I'm gonna put my
David
money
just
down
wants to
on the
hurry
kid
this
who would
along
be
so he
king.
can go
Yeah,
and watch
I
Kid
know,
Who
that,
Would Be
yeah.
know. Okay.
But Jackie,
I'm gonna pick Dragon Ball Super Broly, and I know that it's like very niche, and people feel like they have to watch the whole anime, but that's not the case. It's extremely entertaining, and it's like one of the first anime films that I've seen in a long time that has like a decent plot, and it's just like a great father and son, and warriors just like excelling. Like it's awesome. Okay, well, those are our choices, but let's see what our audience has to say of the 3 movies. I love y'all. Dragon Ball Super Broly, 67%. Glass, 26%. And The Kid Who Would Be King,
just
7%. Dang. The Kid Who Would Be King,
Harsh.
I'm surprised. Like the trailers actually looked really appealing to me.
Yeah, and it's been under the radar the whole time, so it makes sense that it still is.
Okay. Well, as always, make sure to follow IGN on Twitter so you can make your voice heard in our polls and join the conversation by tweeting at us with the hashtag IGN W2W.
there it is again.
you.
There it is again. Yeah, I see it. I see it. We all got it.
David.
We
They
know where
won't
we are.
understand.
We're on what to
There you
watch.
go.
We got it. They know what's going on.
There
They
you
see it.
go.
All right, we give you a lot of options for stuff to check out on Blu-ray, but it's time for more options. It's IGN Quick Picks, where we each get 30 seconds to play favorites and convince you all to watch, well, whatever we want. Jackie, you're first this week. 30 seconds on the clock. You ready?
Okay, let's go. Okay, so I'm gonna pick anime because I know Clint is a huge fan. He really likes One Punch Man, so I decided to pick an anime from the same creator. His name is One, by the way, if you wanted to know that. But okay, Mob Psycho 100. And again, we have a protagonist who's not your typical hero. He's this unassuming kid. He's a little bit shy, but he's a powerful Esper who takes down demons. Demons! I never talk about demons, but okay, it's really cool, awesome animation!
I love that you spent all
So,
30 seconds to get to the demons, when we're
Demons?
all assuming you're going
I
to talk
knew
about
y'all
demons
would
anyway.
Buff
Make
dudes.
fun of it being about demons, and I didn't even think about that until I started talking, but no, it's really good, check it out.
All right, David, you're next. 30 seconds on the clock.
I would like to talk about a show called Catastrophe on Amazon Prime Video. It's a wonderful little comedy starring Rob Delaney and Sharon Horgan. She is an Irish school teacher. He is an American businessman on vacation. They hook up, spoiler. They have a little baby together, then they're stuck together, but they end up falling in love, which is it's a great story. It's a great relationship. There's tons and tons of comedy. It's just they work so well together. Carrie Fisher plays Rob Delaney's mom, you know, the late and great Carrie Fisher. It's an amazing comedy. You should check it out and watch it. As always, watch it.
David, that was a really good synopsis.
I'm in.
I'm in, yeah.
get it.
I was like,
Totally
whew.
get it.
Okay, what's Clint's pick?
For my pick, I'm going with Under the Silver Lake from writer-director
notes.
David Robert Mitchell, who did It Follows a couple of years ago, which was one of the most interesting horror films I've seen in a very long time. This is his story about Andrew Garfield as kind of a stoner burnout who goes on an amateur noirish detective kind of adventure in LA, which is actually a really cool little niche genre that a lot of interesting filmmakers have worked in. Think The Big Lebowski, think about Inherent Vice, and this weekend, think about Under the Silver Lake. 2, 1.
Nice.
Very good.
Clint just wanted to do like a little like look at the camera at the end. He's like, I'm good.
He's like, I will
That was
count
good.
down myself.
What's up?
The only
What's
thing I
up?
want out of the show is to win that segment every week.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
With no notes.
With no notes.
Yeah, it didn't even bother me when you said no notes. And
I
took my
know,
notes.
because he was in the bathroom memorizing what he was gonna say. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He's a pro.
You can have my notes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all for what to watch this week, but be sure to tune in next week because it's going to be Avengers Endgame spoiler fest, everybody.
Yeah.
Can you believe it's here?
It's here.
It is
That
the
is
end of an era, and we
wild.
are going to need to talk about it. There will be hot takes. David is going to cry. It's going to be a doozy. So be sure to follow us on Twitter. I am at Clint Gage.
At Jackie Jang, no E.
At Griffin DE, 1E.
Thank you. And we will see you next week.
Shuffle of favors.
Can you just hold mine? It would make more sense if you had.
Okay.
It's like you're collecting our menus.